Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden stories in financial filings. Today we're diving into Greenidge Generation Holdings Inc. and their latest report, which drops some interesting news about their third quarter. Stick around because what we uncovered might surprise you. Before we jump in, if you are all about decoding corporate speak and finding the real story behind the numbers, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you want to connect with other finance enthusiasts and get exclusive insights, join our Discord community. The link is in the description below. Alright, let's get straight into it. On the 13th of November 2025, Greenidge Generation Holdings Inc. put out their current report, basically giving us an update on their business. The main event here is their financial and operational results for the quarter that ended on the 30th of September 2025. They've released a press release, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, they've also included some standard legal stuff, like a disclaimer that this information isn't official until it is truly filed, and a whole lot of forward-looking statements. That is where they talk about potential future events and plans, but they're also telling you not to rely on them too heavily, because things could change. The company is facing a lot of risks. They mention things like getting a final title VA permit and their business strategy for the future. It's important to remember that these forward-looking statements are based on current beliefs and can be affected by many risks and uncertainties. They tell us to look at their previous filings for more details on these risks. The company itself, Greenidge Generation Holdings Incorporated, is a player in the energy sector, and they've been in the news for various reasons related to their operations and financial health. We'll be looking at how their latest results stack up and what that might mean for their future direction. Before we get to the numbers, it's worth noting what kind of securities they have out there. They've got Class A common stock trading under the symbol GRE on the Nasdaq Global Select Market, and they also have 8.50% senior notes due in 2026, which trade under the symbol GREAL on the same exchange. This tells us they have a mix of equity and debt, which is pretty standard for many companies. They've indicated they are an emerging growth company and have elected not to use the extended transition period for new accounting standards. This basically means they are following the new accounting rules as they come out rather than delaying it. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter, their results of operations and financial condition for the quarter ending the 30th of September. 2025. The company has put out a press release, and this is where we are going to find the most interesting details. This press release is key. It's where they've shared their financial and operational highlights for the third quarter. We're going to dissect what these numbers actually mean for the company's health and its strategic path forward. Now, the filing itself doesn't contain the full financial tables directly within the main body that we can scroll to and analyze in detail right here. However, the text refers to results for the fiscal quarter ended the 30th of September 2025, and this press release, Exhibit 99.1, would typically contain the core financial figures. Without the direct tables here, we have to interpret the statement about their results. The report states that the press release contains financial and operational results for the quarter. This implies that the key performance indicators and financial summaries are within that press release that is being furnished as an exhibit. For example, when companies put out these reports, they usually highlight things like revenue, net income or loss, and earnings per share. For the third quarter of 2025, the company reported its financial and operational results. While the specific numbers aren't detailed in the main body of this 8, the fact that they are issuing a press release on the 13th of November about this period signifies an important update. Companies typically use these releases to announce key metrics such as revenue, profit, or loss, and often compare them to previous periods. This allows investors to gauge the company's performance trends. Given that Greenidge is an energy company, one would expect the results to reflect trends in energy markets, operational efficiency, and any progress on regulatory or environmental fronts that might impact their business. Let's think about what these results typically signal. If revenue is up, it means they are selling more or at higher prices. If net income is up, it means they are becoming more profitable after all their costs. If they report a loss, it suggests they are spending more than they are earning, which could point to challenges in their operations, market conditions, or strategic investments. The mention of operational results alongside financial results suggests they are also updating on how their actual business, like energy production or cryptocurrency mining, if that's part of their mix, is performing. The fact that they are providing these updates through a Form 8, which is for current reports, means there is something material happening. Updates on financial results for a quarter are always significant events for publicly traded companies. Investors and analysts will be looking for trends. For instance, are they growing? Are they cutting costs? Are they facing financial headwinds? Without the detailed tables, We are relying on the implication that the press release contains figures that would allow us to answer these questions. We know they have senior notes due in 2026, which means they have debt obligations. The financial results are critical for understanding their ability to service this debt. A strong financial performance would generally mean they are in a good position to meet their debt payments. Conversely, weak performance could raise concerns about their financial stability and their ability to meet those obligations as they come due. The rest of the filing consists of standard checkboxes and disclosures that are very common in SEC filings. They are letting the world know what type of communications they are sending out. For example, they are asked if they are sending out written communications related to securities offerings or soliciting materials for mergers or tender offers. The boxes checked here simply indicate that this report is on the company's current financial status and doesn't fall under those other specific categories. Finally, at the end, we see the signature block. Jordan Kovler, the Chief Executive Officer, has signed off on this report dated the 13th of November 2025. This signifies that the company leadership has reviewed and approved the information being presented. Now, looking at this filing, it is a bit of a preview rather than a full deep dive. The real meat of the financial performance is contained in the press release, Exhibit 99.1, which isn't directly displayed here in a way we can analyze the numbers. However, the intent of this filing is clear to make public the company's latest financial and operational results for the third quarter of 2025. What this tells us is that Greenidge Generation Holdings Inc. is operating on a schedule of quarterly reporting, which is normal for a public company. The key takeaway from this specific document is the announcement of these results. External investors would then need to go and fetch that press release to understand the actual financial figures. Without those figures, we can only infer that the company has completed another reporting period and is sharing its performance with the public, likely to keep shareholders informed and comply with regulatory requirements. From a broad perspective, the company identifies as an emerging growth company, which often means they are still in a phase of development and growth, but also possibly carrying more risk than a more established, mature company. Their securities are traded on NASDAQ, indicating they are subject to the regulations and scrutiny of a major stock exchange. The presence of both common stock and senior notes suggests a capital structure designed to fund operations and potentially expansion. The biggest risk here, as implied by the extensive forward-looking statements section, is the inherent uncertainty in the energy sector and the company's specific business model. Things like regulatory changes, environmental permits, and market volatility can significantly impact their operations and financial performance. In conclusion, this filing serves as an announcement that Greenidge Generation Holdings Inc. has released its Q3 2025 financial and operational results. While we don't have the specific numbers in this document, the filing points us to an accompanying press release for those crucial details. Keep an eye out for that press release as it will contain the real story about how the company performed and what it means for their path forward. What is your take on this? Even without the raw numbers, what does this announcement suggest to you about Greenidge Generation Holdings Inc.? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more dives into corporate filings, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to join our Discord community for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.